Super excited to be here. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Mitch. And congratulations to all of you for taking the step, for being here today. So you made it. You made the decision that you want to embark on this amazing journey, and your destination is to be a better procrastinator. Because let's face it, we are all procrastinators in our own kind of way, right? So as we prepare for takeoff, I want you to make sure that your cell phones and your Outlook are needed the most. My name is Tina Collura, and I will be your teacher along this journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen. And so that way you guys can see all the slides that I am going to be showing you. So there we go. All right, so let's just get caught up. So why are we here? We are here to learn about why we procrastinate. We're going to talk about the 4 major types of procrastinators, and we're going to talk about 21 ways to beat the inner procrastinator in you. So I have a couple of questions for you guys. How many of you love doing your taxes around this time? Or better yet, how many of you have still yet filed your taxes? A show of hands. Let's see how many people. And another thing, it's spring cleaning time. How many of you are loving this time of year where you get to clean out your closets? Or maybe you have a drawer. There's one drawer that you know is just like staring at you in the back of your head, and you know that you need to get to it, right? And how many of you love to just start projects right away the first minute that they're actually assigned to you, and you just take off and running, right? How many? Show of hands. I'm going to say not a lot of people out there. Well, as I said, by the end of the session, what you're going to take away is hopefully some tips and tricks that are going to help you be a better, more productive procrastinator. So I got to tell you, I really hope that all this information that you're going to be walking away with is going to help your 3 a.m. you from stopping the worrying and the procrastinating, so that you can sleep better at night and so that you could start getting stuff done. Okay, so let's hop in. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about me. So as I said, my name is Tina Collura, and I am the founder and CEO of the See Yourself Grow coaching company. And I've been coaching since 2005. And I've taken my coaching practice on so many different journeys, from one-on-one coaching to group coachings. I do motivational speaking, both for adults and for kids. And I've also done keynote speaking for large groups of women, mainly around International Women's Day. I have over 21 years of experience in change management, leadership, strategy implementation. And I just love helping people get out of their own way and into results in less than 60 days. During the pandemic, I was able to make an additional $6K while working a 9-to-5, homeschooling a 6-year-old, and watching my 3-year-old turn my house into a jungle gym. I also have 3 fur babies who are right outside the door, and of course they're all fighting. I have 3 French bulldogs. And I have a husband. So I am a wife, I am a mom, and I am a boss. So I am very busy, but I have learned, you know, how to be a productive procrastinator, and that's why I'm here with all of you today. Feel free to ask questions as we go along, because I love interacting with you. So please feel free to ask questions as we move along. So here's another question for you. Are you a habitual procrastinator? So everyone is a procrastinator from time to time. We heard about Charlotte's story earlier today. And I got to tell you, did I procrastinate in creating this presentation? Absolutely. But did I do it in a timely manner? Yes, I did, so that it didn't cause me stress. So the real question is, how likely are you to do it in any given situation? And do you procrastinate to the point that there's no action or there's a negative impact on your life? So if you're interested in knowing if you are a habitual procrastinator, I want you to type your emails in the chat, and I'm going to send you a pop quiz. And you can do that on your own time after the presentation's done. But if you're interested in knowing if you're a habitual procrastinator, please just put your emails in the chat and I will send that information to you right after. So procrastination is the thief of time. We all do it. Some of us just know how to do it a little bit better than others, okay? So procrastination basically affects 20% of the population. And according to researchers, procrastination has actually quadrupled in the last 30 years. So did you guys know that only 20% of our day is actually spent doing critical, crucial, and important things? So what are we doing with the other 80% of our time, right? Good time management allows us to accomplish more in short amount of time, which leads to more free time, which then leads to lower stress, which then leads to greater opportunity for success. I want you guys to write this down. Everyone procrastinates, but not everyone is a procrastinator. I'll let that sink in for a minute. Everyone procrastinates, but not everyone is a procrastinator. We're going to talk a little bit about why, okay? Now, I could teach you all about how to manage your time or how to organize your schedule. And I can tell you how I found 37.5 hours for one of my clients who said that they wanted to start their own business while she was going to school, while she was at home educating an autistic son, and she was going to school herself. I can also tell you how to organize your schedule, how I organize my own task, and how I prioritize my work and my days. But in the end, everything comes down to you and what is stopping you from doing what you need to do. So when I hear that estimates indicate that 80 to 95% of students are procrastinating, and 50% of them already consider themselves chronic procrastinators, this is a problem, right? Because this starts from a very young age. And I remember when I was young and I was procrastinating and I didn't want to do particular assignments. I have two older brothers, and one of them really knew how to kick me in the right direction. But if it wasn't for him, I think I would be a chronic procrastinator as well. So if you have any young people in your lives and you notice these tendencies now, you want to get on top of it. You want to share this presentation with them. I'm going to actually send you guys the 21 tips to be a better procrastinator as well, so that you could share that with your friends and family, okay? So why do we do it? Why do we procrastinate? Is it because of fear? Is it because of laziness? Is it because we're perfectionists? Is it because of all the negative self-talk that we have accumulated over the years? Or is it because of the present situation is more attractive, right? And we're getting immediate gratification from that particular situation? How about it is all of the above, depending on the task or the situation? So let me ask you, this is where we're going to do a little poll, okay? So Mitch is going to do a poll, and I want to ask you, what is your main distraction, or what is your distraction of choice? Is it emails? Is it text messaging? Is it social media? Is it people? Or is it TV? So I'll just give everybody a couple of minutes. Do you guys ever get like super giddy when you hear the ding, when you get a message? Do you think like, oh, I wonder who it is. Oh, I wonder what it is. It's just crazy. But I want to share with you guys, every 60 seconds, did you know that there are 16 million texts that are sent out every 60 seconds? And there's 204 emails that are sent. And 4 million Facebook likes are happening as we speak. And in 2017, there was a study done. Okay, people are still weighing in. Yeah, 2017, there was a study done on how much time people are spending in front of their TVs. And on average, it's 4 hours a day. So over a lifetime, that's 78,000 hours that we're spending in front of the TV. All right, so it looks like social media is the winner. Yeah, and you know what? Are we surprised? Are we surprised by this this revelation? Probably not, because social media, right? It's taking up so much of our space. I'm just gonna check here in the chat, see if there's any ahas. Yeah, not proud of the time I spend on social media. I know. Did you know that you could actually check how much time you're actually spending on social media? I heard that. I was like, oh, this is awful. So now what that has done for me, it has caused me to put down my phone at 5 p.m., right? Also, my 6-year-old has caused me to really be conscientious of how much time I'm spending on my phone, right? When I get a 6-year-old telling me, Mama, you're not listening to me. Mama, you're always looking at your phone. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, it's so bad. So yes, I put down my phone at least for 2 hours every evening from 5 to 7. Okay. So this is, it shouldn't be eye-opening, but it really makes you think, right? So especially now in this day and age, my children, they are a distraction for me when I'm working, but they're also a break for me. So it's important to know the difference, okay? We're gonna talk a little bit more about it. Did you guys know that Leonardo da Vinci he struggled with procrastination. He only lived 67 years. And in his 67 years, he actually created 15 works of art, okay? The Mona Lisa actually took him 15 years to complete. And some would actually say it's not even done, okay? There's another work of art, I think it was called The Virgin of the Rocks. They had commissioned Da Vinci to complete that work in 7 months. He did it in 25 years. So even the greats procrastinate, okay? So you're not alone. So listen, the other thing I want to tell you, this really resonates with me because fear is meant to protect you, not cripple you, okay? Fear is what holds us back from doing the things that we truly want to do. Fear signals that we are outside of our comfort zone, right? The whole growth zone is comfort zone, fear zone, growth, and then that's where the dreams come true, right? Once you pass the fear zone and you're in the growth zone, but the fear that basically is presenting itself, it's meant to protect you because yeah, when you are going to embark on something new, that means you are going to possibly get hurt along the way. But fear doesn't see the danger. You do. But you should also be the ones seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So instead, what you should be doing is don't let the fear cripple you. Use the fear to lay out the plan, lay out the tracks. So if you're planning a trip, let's say, your starting point is your starting point. Your fears, you should be laying those out as different roadblocks or stop signs that when you actually embark on that journey, you are basically setting out the plan on how you're going to deal with those fears. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Let it be a compass that's going to direct you on the right path, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about the fears. So fear of success, these are the top 5. These are the top 5. Fear of success, fear that you're not good enough, so that's where the perfectionists are. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and fear of rejection is the last one, okay? So let's talk about fear of success. So that stems from guilt or self-doubt, okay? So the first thing you want to do is look for signs that you are delaying because of fear of success. Ask yourself, what is the problem? Is it about receiving recognition, or is it about, are you worried that others might see you as a fraud, right? Or is it that you're nervous that you're going to be delivering something and it's not what others expected of you? These are, things that weigh on people's mind when they have to embark on a new journey or deliver on a project or an assignment or have a difficult conversation. These are things you don't have control over, but you do have control over your thought process, right? So the second thing you want to do is ask yourself, what might happen if you do succeed? Okay? And then the third thing you want to ask yourself is the outcome of this project, the success that could be, aligned with your goals? If you're nodding your head yes, then you're on the right path. You just got to get past your fears. So what I do is I created a success journal. And when I have this fear, I go back to my success journal and I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I did this right. I did that right. Yeah, okay, I could do that. And I have that posted on my vision board. So for every month, I've listed out 3 successes for every month. And it reminds me that, you know what? When you do have that fear of succeeding, you can look back and say, I did it before. I could do it again. So to all my perfectionists out there, you need to identify the difference between delivering something that's perfect and delivering something that's maybe not so perfect. And usually the difference is teeny tiny. Okay? It's you. You are your own worst enemy. Okay? Second, you need to consider the cost. Oh, Monica, I'm sorry. Am I talking to you? Okay, it's okay. Virtual hugs. Okay, so I'll continue talking to you about this one then. So the second thing you want to do is you want to consider the cost of being a perfectionist. What is it costing you? Okay, is it paralyzing you to the point of inaction, right? Or is it increasing your stress levels? Probably. Yeah, okay. And it may also cause you on missing out on opportunities and recognition because you're too busy being perfect and you're letting opportunities pass you by, right? And then the third thing I want you to ask yourself is, why do you want everything to be so perfect? Where does that come from? I grew up with a perfectionist mother. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. Every Saturday, I had to clean the house. Okay, did I love cleaning? No. Did I know it wasn't going to be good enough? Yes. So did I stall and procrastinate in doing it? I would literally start the house cleaning at 8 a.m. and by 2 p.m., I would still not be done the top floor. Because I knew it was never going to be good enough for her. And now what did I go and do? I went and married a perfectionist. My husband, okay, he's a perfectionist, but he loves to clean. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, perfect. I love it. And when he gets that look in his eyes, like he wants to go clean, he kicks us all out of the house. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, yeah, it couldn't be better. So all I'm saying is you need to identify where this perfectionism is coming from, okay? What else? Perfectionism, it's an oppressor, okay? It's an oppressor, and you need to quiet that voice in your head when that person or that persona is showing up, okay? And you gotta be prepared to tell that person to quiet down, okay? The other areas of fear of the unknown, and this stems from not knowing what the future will hold. So what I do, I create a what if list, right? What if this and what if that? And then I do my research and I tackle each what if scenario. That's how I clear that away. The fear of failure, Oh my God, this one's a huge one too. And I think this one cripples a lot of people, but you don't know until you try, right? And so for anybody out there who has a fear of failure, I want you to try something new every day, right? Someone once told me, the more choices you make, the better you become at choices and making choices. It's the same thing with the fear of failure. The more that you try new things and you don't do them perfectly, the more you'll continue to want to try new things, and you'll know that it's not so harmful. Okay? We do it to our kids. I tell my kids all the time, try this, try that, try this, try that, right? So we should be doing it to ourselves too. And then the last one is fear of rejection. So fear of rejection starts at a young age, not knowing how to deal with it. So the solution here, people, go get rejected. So I gotta say, men are better at this than women because they've been getting rejected a lot more than we have, right? So over the years, I have one client who had a fear of rejection, and I told her to go get 100 no's. She comes back to me after 9, and she's like, "Oh, I got a yes." I'm like, "Yeah, but did you get 100 no's?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Then go back." I'm like, "You haven't completed your task," right? It's easier said than done. This is all easier said than done, but we all got to practice, okay? So here we go. Here are the 4 types of procrastinators. Which one are you? So there's the overperformer, right? So these are the people who basically work well under pressure and they like to take on so much, but what's the challenge here? Well, the challenge here is they have a problem getting started because they've taken on so much, right? The solution for these guys, they need to make a list and they need to set a date, right? To start actioning what it is that they need to action. Then there's the self-deprecator. So the self-deprecator, they're their own worst enemies. They're the ones who are saying, "Oh, I'm so lazy. Oh, I need so many breaks. Oh, before I do this, I need to do that," right? Again, they're the worst. They're the hardest on themselves. So the problem is they take too many breaks. I used to be a smoker, so I used to take a lot of breaks. And I used to have my best thoughts when I was out there, but then I would come back and I'd sit down on my computer and I'd get overwhelmed and I'd go on another break and then another break. And then I was at the office till like 9, 10 o'clock at night, procrastinating, right? So the solution here is they need to do some work and then they need to reward themselves with a break, okay? The person here with all the arms, that is the overbooker. Anybody here an overbooker? Right? So basically what they're doing, what they're doing is they are taking on so much. They're almost like the overperformer. They like to be busy, but their problem is they're avoiding stuff. They like to take on stuff because they're avoiding, okay? So what they need to do is they need to ask themselves, what are you really avoiding? And then there is the novelty seeker. So these are my squirrely people, right? Shiny object, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, exactly, right? So when I do this presentation, I could fit into everyone, and I think we all can. It's just there's always one that we gravitate to, right? So the novelty seeker, they love taking on new things, but the challenge here is completing them, right? So what they need to do is finish one thing at a time. Good or good? Thumbs up? Everybody okay? Okay. All right, cool. All right, so now we're gonna move into the 21. So the 21 ways to beat your inner procrastinator. Are we ready? I'm gonna send this out to you guys if you've put your email in so you don't have to write, but yes, I will send them out. So number 1, do what you don't love first. This is why I do my exercise in the morning. I get it all done in the morning, okay? That goes for projects as well. We've all been assigned projects or assignments or we all have to have a difficult conversation, do it first thing, okay? When you are assigned something, or you really have to sit down and concentrate on something, if you could do it for just 10 minutes, just set 10 minutes for each project, okay? And then just lay out the plan. Even if you just have that plan, here's your beginning, here's your end, start drawing it out. Just spend 10 minutes on that task and then put it aside. And then go reward yourself with a break or with social media, okay? That's number 2. Number 3, reward yourself. I reward myself with social media. So I basically know that, you know what, I set limits for myself on what I can and can't do. Because I know that if I pick up my phone, I'm going to be distracted. And then it's going to take me down a rabbit hole, depending on what I'm seeing. So you need to set parameters, but you also need to reward yourself. Then number 4, fill her up. Fill up your calendar, I mean, okay? So what does this mean? I schedule chunks of time for when I have to do my work, right? So that my calendar is always full. Because if I have a space in my calendar, then that gives me an opportunity to run away with something, and then it takes me, again, down a rabbit hole. When I have to have my head down, when I have to do strategy work, I turn off all distractions and I schedule that time, okay? So I actually have desk time. I have Outlook time. I have assignment time. I have conversation time. I schedule everything, okay? Number 5, prioritize your tasks and your projects. So every Saturday, I pull out all my calendars. I get my husband's calendar, I get my kids' calendars, and I map it all out. And then I prioritize what needs to happen Monday, what needs to happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so on. If I could push things out, I push them out, okay? Shorten your to-do list. That kind of ties in with the prioritizing, right? So if I have 10 things on my list, I'm like, oh, you know what? Can I chop this, and can I chop that, and can I move this? There's no harm in asking, right? If you have to move appointments in or out, okay? Set up time to complete your tasks. Get others to set deadlines for you. That might be interesting. And then find your peak time. My peak time is mornings, right? I'm a 5 a.m. riser, right? But I have a schedule, right? So I do my meditation, I do my journaling, I do my exercise, and Maslow's hierarchy, I have Tina's hierarchy, and it's me first, right? So my peak time is always in the morning. And that's when I get my difficult stuff done. Become accountable to someone else. Did you know that the probability of you accomplishing something is about 65% when you set a date and a timeline, but it increases to 95% when you're accountable to someone else? If you know that you got to meet with me and we set up a task list last week, oh my God, are you ever going to get it done? Right? And it's probably going to be like the Friday before the Saturday meeting. And yeah, why do we do this to ourselves is my question, right? So we got to get better. Number 11, take small steps. This goes back to the first 10 minutes. I'm also going to give you guys a 3-minute exercise that you could do, okay? Oh, number 12, avoid the boring work, right? Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But if you can find a way to make it exciting, do that, okay? Like housework for me. Housework for me is very boring. I don't like it, but I get my kids involved now and we make it fun, but we don't get as much done, but that's okay. Because then my husband comes in and rescues us all. So, okay. Remove environmental distractions, right? I wish I could remove my kids from my current situation, but I can't, right? So what do? I set up chunks of time with my husband to say, you know what? I need quiet time. And he takes the kids. and then I get to work quietly, right? No TV, no phones, no Outlook, turn everything off. Get rid of the digital distractions, so that's number 14. Use time chunking, right, which is what I talked about early. Schedule those times. Eliminate as many unnecessary tasks as possible, right? If you could delegate stuff out, oh my gosh, that's the greatest thing you could do. To my perfectionists, I know that's hard, but make a list of what you are willing to let go, okay? There's got to be something on that list. Focus on one task at a time. As many of us like to believe that we are good multitaskers, we're really not. I was on a call the other day, and obviously it was a project call, so I was just waiting for my turn to give my project update, and I was doing my emails, and then all of a sudden I heard my name, but I didn't fully hear. Why? Because I was doing my emails, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what was that? I was just multitasking. And then someone actually called me out. They're like, no, you weren't. You were single tasking. And you were single tasking on your emails, not on this call. I'm like, oh, how rude. But he was right? So where possible, you can multitask, like doing your sit-ups in front of the TV. But when you really need to concentrate, try just to concentrate on one thing at a time. Oh gosh, dealing with the negative self-talk. This is a huge one, right? So when you start going down that path, like, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough time, you have to start changing how you're talking to yourself. And someone said it was superhero day. So this is where I stand up and I put my hands on my hips and I start doing my I am statements. I am smart. I am good enough. I am in control. I do have all the resources that I need, right? So switch the negative talk. Limit your options to one. So when given too many options, it's like a kid. If you tell your kid, clean up the toys and put this away and do this, what are they going to hear? They won't hear anything because you've already given them too many options. So give them one. And that's what I want for you. Limit your options. It's less confusing and you will likely not procrastinate because you just have to focus on one thing. This one's a good one too. Figure out why you're procrastinating. Sorry, guys. Figure out why you're procrastinating. And then the last one is do a weekly goal check. So what is important? What is so important, and does it align with your goals? Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts or any questions on any of these?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm thinking sometimes it's when you have a lot of tasks too, is to really sit down and prioritize the most important ones, like how you say, even do those ones that you might not like, or like that eat the frog first type of tips. Yes. Where you do that first thing in the morning. Yes. But to prioritize, so you're not like, oh yeah, the laundry, I have to do that. But is that really a priority right now?
Yes, exactly. Absolutely, totally agree. Okay, so the next slide, I'm going to go fast now, is all about change, right? So we need to make a choice, we need to take a chance, and then we need to welcome the change. So these are the 4 steps of change. Recognize, acknowledge, forgive, and then embark on the change, okay? Forgiveness is so important when it comes to procrastination, okay? So we need to forgive ourselves. And in my opinion, this is so important because procrastination is a habit. It is learned over time and it's reinforced every time we do it, okay? After years of practice, it becomes deeply rooted in your brain. It becomes part of your daily process. We instinctively look for ways to postpone things. And what we need to do is we need to break that entrenched habit. And it won't happen overnight. It took years to develop, right? So it's going to take time to curb it. And it's just like any other bad habit. It's going to take time. And there will be setbacks, and that's okay. And this is where the forgiveness part comes in. And studies show that self-forgiveness is crucial to curbing procrastination. Okay? So here's what I want you guys to do. What if I told you that I have a 3-minute solution to all your procrastination problems? Would that sound good? Yeah, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Okay, so if you're feeling stuck, I've got celebrations over here. If you're feeling stuck right now, okay, I'm going to teach you guys about, I want you to learn about a simple question that you will pull out every time you are wasting, or you're in a slump, or you need to kick yourself in the butt to get into gear, okay? I want you guys, if you have pen and paper right now, I want you to write down what's on your mind that you know you have been putting off. For the next 30 seconds, I want you guys just to write, okay? I'm going to put, and don't stop writing. I'm going to actually put on a timer for 30 seconds. What are the things that are on your mind right now that you know that you should be completing? Okay? How many of those things are basically something so small, but for some reason they're holding you back? Just write. I want you to write all the important projects, assignments, or conversations that you know that you need to have. 30 seconds. And if you're like me, there's probably a bunch. That's it, 30 seconds. Stop. Okay, now when you think of all of them, or even just one, you're probably overwhelmed just looking at it on your paper right now. I see some head nods. Okay, so what if you only had 3 minutes to work on it? 3 minutes that takes some kind of action, any action. You have 3 minutes to work on that one thing. And here's where the 3-minute procrastination solution comes in. Keep your life creative and simple. What needs to be done right now in these 3 minutes in regards to that one project? That's it. That's it. 3 minutes. If you could dedicate 3 minutes to that one thing every day or every hour, depending on how big it is, what needs to be done right now in these 3 minutes that's going to help me get that done? That's it. And here's what I've discovered. Imperfect action is better than no action at all. Okay? Because the people that are taking imperfect action, they're getting results. The people who are being too perfect are sitting around waiting for things to happen. So what can I do right now that will move me forward? What's one small action that I can take right now, and then take that action? Your future self will thank you for it. Your future 3 a.m. self will thank you for it. Okay? So there's 8% of people out there that are actually accomplishing their goals every year. So here's what the other 92% of us should be doing. Begin with the end in mind. Build a support system around you. Set specific and challenging goals. Recognize when you're procrastinating. Practice the 25-5 rule. Reward yourself with the distraction of your choice. This is what it comes down to, people. The 25-5 rule: work for 25 minutes, break for 5. Work for 25, break for 5. Good or good? Okay. So how many more 3 a.m. stressful moments do you want to keep having? Monica is shaking her head. So I want you guys to stop worrying and just start wondering about things when you go to bed. I want you to stop procrastinating and start producing. So I want to help you. I want to give you guys all a free 30-minute session, okay, with me, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to deep dive into your procrastination problems, okay? Then what we're going to do is we can map out an easy process that will work for you to help manage your tasks. And then I want to develop your very own successful habit plan for the next 30 days. So if that is something that you're interested in and something you want to take advantage of, Mitch, can you put my calendar link in the chat? Awesome, thumbs up, perfect. Please take advantage of it. I love working with people who are just fed up with their current situation and know that they can do better and want better for themselves, okay? I've been there. I am not perfect, but I've done pretty well because I've been managing small business. I've been managing working a 9-to-5, homeschooling a 6-year-old. You know my story, right? So I want to share my tips and my tricks with everyone, okay? I want you to think about things that you will be able to accomplish. I want you to start waking up at 3 a.m. and not worrying, but wondering about the possibilities when you put your head down on that pillow, okay? And I want you to start trusting yourselves more, because the next time you're choosing a destination or you're choosing a journey, whatever it is that you're reaching for, you need to know that you may not get there right away, but you are laying the foundation for a tremendous build of character and spirit and determination. Everything you do is leading towards something great, and that's what you need to trust. So that's it for me, folks. These are all my social media links, so feel free to follow me and message me anytime. I'm super grateful to each and every one of you for giving me this opportunity to share my wisdom. And like I said, hopefully you take advantage of my free 30-minute call. Love to hear more about you and your journey. That's all, folks. What questions do you have?
Thank you so much, Tina. That was amazing. Yes, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute themselves or just type a message in the chat box. You're welcome to do that. I do have one question. I love that list of your tips. How do you tackle such a list? Because all of them, I thought, this would really help me, each and every one of them. I don't even know which one to choose. And so therefore, again, that fear of, maybe it's the fear of success or something, I don't choose any of them. So how do we which one do we choose? How do we know which one we should tackle, or do we just randomly pick one and try it? What's your advice on that?
So what I do, Charlotte, is I have that printed and I have it sitting beside me wherever I'm working, and I glance over at it when I feel like I'm procrastinating, and I look down at the list, and usually it's one will jump out at me, and it's the one that I need in that moment.
That is a great idea, actually. I think having that visual beside you, because so often we receive things digitally these days, and then it just kind of goes into a folder and we forget about it. But to have something right beside you all the time is actually, that's a really good idea. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. I also have, I got those display acrylic holders, you know, and so I got 5 of them off of Amazon, and I have the procrastination 21 tips, but I also have the fear list. right next to my computer, and I'm like, okay, which one is present for me now?
Yeah.
Which one is, and then that's how I tackle my fears.
No, I think that's great. I think the fear of success is a really interesting one, because you think, why would you fear success? But so many of us do. I don't really know why, but and I guess fear of rejection, fear of all these other things too. But yeah, that one's interesting, but it really does resonate.
Yeah. And the fear of success goes hand in hand with imposter syndrome, right? It's like, oh my God, what makes me so worthy to talk about this topic to all of you today, right? What makes me worthy to be a coach, a business coach, a success coach? Well, I can, and so these thoughts all pop into my head, but I know how to quiet them. I know how to, you know, basically turn them around. Absolutely. So that they don't become, they don't cripple me, right?
Exactly. And I'm glad you do that, because or else we wouldn't have had this amazing presentation today. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And even your offer to do a free session with us is amazing too. And again, I wonder how many people are like, oh, but if I do that, what if I'm successful? What if that helps me? Oh, I'm scared of that. So it's interesting, even in signing up for that 30 minutes, it's like a little bit of fear, but why? Why would you fear that when it's something that could help you?
I know, I know.
The workshop too, like some people probably feared that, like really facing your problem. But yeah.
That's why I'm like, you know what, we need to get out of our own way. And the minute we start getting out of our own way is when we start seeing results.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But you know what, everybody accepts themselves in different ways. Everyone self-reflects in different ways. And we all have to be cognizant of where we are and where we want to be.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. So true. We've got some comments. Lisa said, imposter syndrome is a huge issue for so many of us entrepreneurs. Absolutely. As entrepreneurs, it's sometimes a daily battle for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Totally agree. Yeah.
So, Tina did ask you to leave your email if you wanted the information that she had, but we'll also be sending out an email too with Tina's contact information and information about the Village Hive if anybody's interested in checking us out. If you're in the GTA, once we're out of COVID, we'll welcome you in for a free co-working day, just because we know how isolating it is at home. And I'm sure procrastination has even maybe just been amplified this past year during COVID because of a lot of fear and a lot of just anxiety, depression or loneliness for people. And so once we can all get out again and see each other and be together, I think that will help with some of us who are procrastinating doing things. I even think about all the things I thought I could have done this year in my house, like painting and all this, and I didn't. And I don't know why I didn't. I had a whole year to do it. But there's so that feeling of just unsettled this year. So
there's so much.
So much, Tina. I really appreciate you taking your time today, and so grateful for everybody that joined us on Zoom today. Next week we have